All right, welcome back. Super glad you're here. Today we're talking science curriculum and science winners and standout for the year. So this is kind of the continuing series of standouts for the year of 2024-2025 for homeschool curriculum. Today I'm going to show you in a science curriculum that is brilliant for ADHD kids. I'm telling you, it's simple. It's a great science curriculum for people who hate experiments. If that is not your thing because of the drama, because of the mess, if you also want a no nonsense one that's like straight to the point so that you don't have to do a lot of busy work, this is it as far as I'm concerned. But let's take a look at the product of the day. Look at this. This is Shut the Box. It comes in versions. You can get 4 people playing it, 1 person playing it. All you do is it's like a addition, subtraction. You can even do dividing if you wanted to. But so look at that. We got, what do we got? 6. So 6 and 6. So 12, right? So you can go 9, 10, 11, 12. 9 plus 3, 12. Okay, but you can also, and then, so we got 10, so we can do 8 and 2. Whoever shuts the box first wins. By that, I mean shuts all of those down. But you can also do something like, say, I don't know, say you roll and it's like 6, 7. Okay, or 9. Wait, what's that? 6, 7, 8. Okay, well, you can like put up the 9 and then put down the 7. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, so it works. You don't have to play that way, but you can if you want. So that is Shut the Box. That's all you need to Google. There's 100 different versions of it. Okay, next up, I want to show you one of my favorite science books of the year, of every year. When's every year? Every year. And it's taped together because it has been through some stuff and because they're not readily available used. You can get them at your library, buy them used for about $15. New, they're not readily available. They are made by a teacher and an artist. They are, I'm not sure what nationality, under earth and underwater. So when you open up the underwater, these are all the contents that you're going to find, pardon me, under the water. So let's just take a look. Under the water. So this is lakes, the ocean, but let's go further. Let's see. Sinkholes. What's a sinkhole? What are some of the, so it's mostly like, what are the best sinkholes? What are the most famous sinkholes? Under pressure. What else we got? We got, diving. The scuba suits you'll probably see next. This is record-breaking divers. So anything that has to do with under the water, but it also includes animals. So these are diving suits that they had, like 1894, the first diving suits. So it's just super interesting that you can pull out, and it's the oil and gas platforms. But it also has to do with like animals that are there. Like I was just trying to flip to show you. Where is it? Nope, that is moving on to Earth. The Deep Sea Challenger, but it's got, undersea deep dwellers. So very interesting. I mean, this book to me is a winner. $15. That's what I bought them a couple times. Have I bought them a couple times? That's by the authors Alexandra Malinskia and Daniel. I don't know how you say that, but anyway, Under Earth, Underwater is what it's called. So this is the under earth part. So it does everything from edible roots and plants to burrowing animals to bugs and microorganisms, anything under. But it also does tectonic plates. But it also does human. Like underground utilities, underground submarines, underground subways. So there's the tardigrade, ants, all about ant colonies and ant hills. So talk about an awesome book. I mean, burrowing animals. This is a book you can bring on a car trip and you can, stare at page after page after page. How do I know this? Because we go on a lot of car trips and we have done this. Speaking of which, another thing we have used on car trips is the Yoto. We have used the Yoto. We have now switched over mostly to audiobooks. The youngest still uses the Yoto. But they have a lot of science stuff on the Yoto that is very interesting. A lot of science stories, stuff like that. The Yoto is fantastic. It is a lot of money, so if you can, once your kids hit an age where they can operate, but if you want them off the tablet altogether, then you may want to do a Yoto. That's kind of the thing. But if you're okay with them just accessing, look, it's sewage. If you're okay with them just accessing, audiobooks and stuff like that, then you can just use, the library or Hoopla. Get your Hoopla card. If you're in Canada, you get 12 Hooplas a month. So if there's something that you cannot find on Libby, it's on Hoopla for adults and kids. A lot of times. In the United States, you only get 5. I mean, it varies per library. So paleontology, but I want to show you my favorite part. So dinosaurs, caves, also very interesting caves. But what's really interesting is how far we've gone in the earth, too. They got that. We've actually only gone, I want to say 14 miles down. in the earth. So that's kind of why we think the core is down there. It's a theory. This is what I want to show you. Aluminum, what's aluminum used for? Rock salt, what's rock salt used for? Uranium, what's it used for? Gold, silver, precious stones, what are they used for? So this is, I gotta tell you, my son who loved geology, the mined resources, this was, you know, like his favorite thing. Okay, so let's get on to the curriculum. That I am an expert at children who do not want to school and getting them to learn a lot. I'm telling you, and I'm talking kids are not easy. I have two boys are very kind of easy, and one, oh no. So I'm telling you, take a look at this curriculum. This is Discovering God's World. This is the one. You can start the one in kindergarten. It's not that complicated. But you do not need the before, you do not need the after, you do not need, there's no teacher's manual as far as I know. Now understand, when it comes to Abeka, I do not like Abeka kindergarten. I don't like Abeka kindergarten. But here we're covering animals, insects, plants, and seasons. So very simple. Now this was made, Discovering Myself, which I think is really, really good. This is how God kind of takes care of you. Like how he gives you eyelids. How he gives you 2 different ways to breathe in case you have a cold in one. This is Discovering My Toys. So this was made for Christian private schools. So you will see occasionally a reference to school in there, which I dislike in curriculums. Completely dislike that, but it's very rare in here. It's not very often. So you'll see a poem, and then, so all you need to do is you could just, $14 I think for this book, and all you do is you read through it. There's not a lot of experiments. And it teaches you stuff. And what I do is, so I go through here with them, right? So I'll read at lunch. If you have a child who hates reading, or for whatever reason, I'll read through it at breakfast or lunch, but for whatever reason hates reading, they're probably, if they're playing too many video games, yeah, reading's not going to be interesting at all, right? Like, have you ever been on your phone a lot and then expected to sit down and read something? It's not that easy. I mean, I love reading, so it's easy for me, but again, okay, so my hearing ears. Okay, so, but let's skip a little bit ahead. Taking care of my skin, working together, so magnets. So they do have like, so because it's made for classrooms, any experiments that they have are very, what you need, a toy truck or car, the wheels come off, a push toy across a smooth floor and take the wheels off and try again. Which way was easier? So very simple experiments, right? Like super simple. Which is what I like, and I usually skip them anyway. I don't do busy work, and I skip a lot of stuff. I'm covering 4 science curriculums this year, in case you're wondering. At least 4. Okay, so Discovering Animals. Some are huge, some are big, some are little, some are tiny. So how do animals learn? Go through this. Very interesting. So what I would do is, if I thought it was important, generally this year I don't think it's that important when you're down at this level, right? Grade 1. But what I would do is, let's pick out something. Babies that hatch. So I would take this information, if I thought it was important that they remember it, I would take some animals hatch from eggs. And so maybe I would on Canva put hatch from eggs. Which animals hatch from eggs? And I would put birds hatch from eggs, or whatever. I'd give a summary of it with pictures for a mnemonic device. And then once a week at lunch, I pull out that book and we go through that book. You can do it for the whole year, right? Like go tadpoles anyway. Mother lays frog legs eggs, goes to tadpoles grow hind legs. So if I thought this was important, I could do something like this in Canva. It takes you like 5 minutes, and then you could use it for the year and flip through that book. So that's how I get them to know so much without a lot of activities. We don't do activity books because handwriting, if you have a child that's a special learner, especially if they have ADHD, they are not going to want to handwrite, and that will slow you down every time. That's another reason why this curriculum is good, because there's not a lot of handwriting involved. Like a turtle is very, and at the end of every section, there's a do you remember? Now, a turtle is very slow, fast. Understand, this is, so grade 1, this is very gentle. You could do it with a kindergartner, right? Like it's very simple. His what protects him? His hair or his shell, right? His shell. So if we got one of these wrong, say baby turtles are born, they hatch from eggs, or they are born, and we didn't know the answer. Like my kids and I were going through it and we're like, what do you think that is? And they didn't know. You can just go back to the section and read it. It happens to be right here, but you can just go back to the section and read it. So that's what we would do. as far as these go. So there's not a lot of handwriting. There's not a lot of wasted time. That's how I go through so many curriculums. But this was our curriculum. This is one of the ones we used last year, I think, but I just thought it's great because you can pull it out too at dentist's office or, well, doctor's office, things like that. If you got kids that you got to take to speech or to wherever you go, OT or whatever, you could just pull this out and just read through a section with them about like the queen ant. And it doesn't have a ton of information. Now remember, do you remember? So this is another section. A spider is an insect. No, a spider is not an insect. As far as I know, it's not. It's an arachnid. All insects are black. Well, no. Interestingly, an insect only has 6 legs. The exception, everyone, wait for it, the caterpillar, because he becomes a butterfly, which then has 6 legs. I know, freaking amazing. Okay, discovering plants. That's like my least favorite thing. Did you know that the biggest stem in the world is a tree? Yeah, just in case you're wondering. Also something I learned from, I think, the Next Level Up. So the Next Level Up, we'll talk more on this, a little bit more, but anything, like if you do not, say you want to jump into level 2, go ahead. You don't have to do number 1. Like anything that's important in here, they will cover again in the next thing. That's the way it is with science curriculums, is they'll always give a review before they start on to the next year. But anyway, so I just think that's a winner. And thank you for subscribing and thank you for tuning in. And tomorrow I have more science curriculum that I could show you as well that we are covering, that we went through, and that I think are standout winners, and one that was okay. I mean, still good in its own right, but yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes.
And hit the bell for notifications.